the backcountry of Marshalltown, Iowa today. A few days ago we went and looked at this old 76 F-250 Ford. It's an FE engine. I'm not sure if it's a 360 or 390, but it is a factory 4-barrel, and it's a 4-speed truck with obviously it's a 3-speed with a granny low. But we went out the other day and looked at it, and I bought it for $1,000, and today we're going to go ahead and pick it up. So should be interesting today, and we'll see if we can get it home. We got about a 40-minute drive in it, and let's just hope we make it. There we go. The old top-down jump starter fired her right up. Got a dead battery that isn't no good. So this rig sat behind this fella's house for a good 5-6 years here, where he hadn't used it. So he said he didn't want to let it rot away. He went ahead and put it up for sale, and here we are. Perfect. So here we are, cruising down the road. Tachometer kind of works. Yeah, I guess it works above 1500 it seems, which is kind of odd. But all seems well. A little bit of play in the steering. Probably wouldn't want to take her over 55, but that 4-barrel FE seems to be doing good. We got the old Autolite 4-barrel in here, but everything seems to be rolling along pretty good. For $1,000, I can't complain. Got good oil pressure down there, good manifold vacuum going down the road. Got Emily behind me there in the old Crown Victoria in case we die. So we're good to go. Let's get this pig home. Going through the gears here, seems like the clutch has actually seemed to have freed itself up now, where it was pretty sticky before. So that's pretty awesome. She's coming around, wearing all the dust off the brakes and loosening up the clutch here as we drive it. This is going way better than I expected. Paint the Ford in.
Doesn't take that long.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, so that's that. We made it with the F-250. It doesn't run too bad. Obviously there's some tuning to do with the carburetor and ignition timing there, but moving forward, I'm going to go ahead obviously and we'll get the differential fluid changed. I'll change the transmission fluid. We'll adjust our clutch around, grease our wheel bearings, just a lot of the typical stuff you want to go ahead and do when you pick up a vehicle that's sat in, you know, in someone's backyard for so long. So anyway, we got Emily in here. She's cleaning up all the interior because she insisted on it. You know how I am. I would have just left it. So it's a good thing we got her helping out with this. Interesting piece I don't know if I mentioned yet. The guy I got it from was commenting how the previous owner went through the service manual and he would replace all the parts and pieces that the service manual said to replace. So he said, I got a box of parts that everything is probably still good, but the guy just changed it out and kept it. So that's kind of neat. And just looking in here, just popping the cap off, looking at the plug wires and everything. I've just given it kind of a once over and everything. Although it all is pretty dusty under here from sitting, it all looks like at one point it was taken very good care of. Under the side of the truck, it seems like it was undercoated at one time. Obviously it's been driven in some Iowa winters and what have you there, so some of our running board mounts are completely gone and whatever. We're going to take those off anyway. But the inside of the truck looks like it was probably kept inside. It's not all sun-baked, at least the carpet isn't like you'd normally see, and the seat's in really good shape. So pretty good, but it was definitely used, to say the least. But we're getting it cleaned up right now. I'm changing all the fluids and everything. The transmission fluid looked really good. So from the factory, it's supposed to run I believe a 50 weight oil, but we're going to throw 80-90 in it just for the age and the mileage. The guy did say that even though it has 80,000 on the dash, that is actually 180,000. So that's pretty interesting. And he also mentioned that this FE engine, which he claims to be a 390, we'll check that out. But he did mention that that was rebuilt around 100,000 miles. So if that's true, it still has 80,000 miles on the rebuild potentially, if that story holds up. I don't have any reason not to believe the guy, so it's probably pretty likely. But anyway, we're just working through it. Gonna get the bed all cleaned out and hopefully drive the thing at the end of the day here. Alright, so the oil's all in. I went ahead and just used Roadkill 1540. I'm not sure what was in there before, but it seemed pretty thin. We had about 25 PSI there of oil pressure. I'm not sure what our idle RPM is because our tach only works between 1500 and 3000 apparently. So I do have another one to replace that. But anyway, we also added in some of our STP additive to get a little more zinc in the oil in case we didn't have enough. Now when you use additive, you always want to make sure to take it and pour it in your jug and shake it around and get a good blend of that before you go ahead and add it to your engine. And of course, we went with the FL1 Motorcraft oil filter. I won't get into it, but its bypass design is far superior to like that of a Fram. And anyway, we want to go ahead and fill that, of course, before we put it on the engine, and we did that as well, so that when we fire it up, the oil pump doesn't have to fill the oil filter before it sends oil to the rest of the engine. Checking out the radio situation here. When I was driving down the road, I didn't think it would work. I figured it was the old mono speaker. I hadn't actually looked behind the seat, and we do have our some speakers that are pretty homemade units, but I also found this nice little funnel, which is pretty handy. This thing actually has 3 gas tanks. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Obviously it has the original gas tank in the back that goes above the spare tire, and then it's got 2 in the fender wells here, 1 on each side. So you know, from sitting the whole time, it seems like this is the cleanest one, so this is the one that I'm running on right now, but in the future hopefully I can get the other couple cleaned out. But so far so good. I think it's going to be a decent driver for Emily here when we get done. She's beautifying it a lot more than I ever did to mine over there, obviously, but yeah, starting to take shape and be decent. All the oil is changed. Yeah, to put that back inside the cab.
Maybe I'll put it in the glove box now.
That's awesome.
I'll have to let it dry a little bit. It was underneath a oil rag or something that I threw on the ground.
Oh, nice. Did you brush the anthill out of it yet?
What's this? Is this the antenna?
was the old antenna, I guess. With all the crap out of it, we're noticing that it has a pretty darn good bed floor in it, despite the rust on the sides. So that's just what you see with typical Iowa weather driving, Midwestern weather. But that's pretty awesome. That's a better bed floor than my own rig over here. Now, this being an F-250 truck, it is an 8-lug unit, which does not bear the 9-inch rear end in the back like our F-100 over here. And what's also interesting about these 250s is they use a 16.5-inch rim, which is really hard to find tires for. So luckily we got good tires on it, but in the future, if we ever do anything, we'd have to get some different rims or something that's a more normal size. I don't know why they did this 16.5 deal, but you know, that's just what it is. So this is kind of unique here. This is the original spare tire, and it still looks like it's in very good shape. This thing must weigh about 100 pounds. It's a son of a gun to throw up here in this truck. It isn't nothing like those other spare rims. But anyway, got the bed all cleaned up. The bed floor looks really good. Emily's getting the seat done up in there, which looks really nice. And you know, really just a little bit of cleanup goes a long way. All the fluids are changed, and got some carb tuning to do yet, but hopefully we're gonna hit the road soon, so this is just pretty much a one-day ordeal. Looks like we're in pretty good shape here. Try not to get my hand cut off. Nice low idle, probably 500 RPM. There we go. There's our nickel test. Nice, smooth, balanced engine. Can't argue with that. She's barely hanging on, but she's sitting there. Obviously you can see that's a completely normal nickel. No magnets, no nothing. So, pretty sweet.
Now you're gonna give me all this pressure.
No, it should be pretty easy. So just throw it in first and let her go. Just put it over in first.
So I'm not quite tall enough yet, huh?
We can glue some blocks on the bottom of your feet. Should give you some driving shoes.